5 years ago, I was stuck, completely stuck. I wanted to change everything about my life, but every time I tried, I failed. I'd start strong on Monday, and by Friday, I was back to my old habits. I thought I was weak. I thought I lacked discipline. I thought some people were just born different. But then I discovered something that changed everything. A simple mathematical formula that explains why 99% of people fail at change and why the 1% succeed. And no, it's not about working harder. It's about understanding how your brain actually works. Stay with me for the next 10 minutes because what I'm about to show you will completely shift how you think about progress, success, and transformation. Here's the truth nobody talks about. You've been lied to about how change works. Society tells you that you need a massive breakthrough, a huge goal, a complete transformation. Go big or go home, right? New Year's resolutions, 30-day challenges, total life makeovers. But here's what actually happens. You start with massive motivation. Day one, you're pumped. You're going to work out for 2 hours, read 50 pages, wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for 30 minutes, and completely reinvent yourself. Day two, still going strong. Day three, you're tired, but you push through. Day four, you skip one thing. Just today, you tell yourself. Day seven, you're back where you started. Maybe even worse, because now you feel like a failure. Sound familiar? Of course it does, because you've been using the wrong formula. Today, I'm giving you the right one. Here's something that will blow your mind. It's called the 1% rule, and it's based on pure mathematics. If you get 1% better every single day for 1 year, you don't improve by 365%. You improve by 3,778%. That's 37 times better than where you started. Let me repeat that. 1% better daily equals 37 times better annually. But here's the terrifying part. If you get 1% worse every day, after 1 year, you decline to nearly zero. You literally approach nothing. This is the compound effect, and your brain operates on this exact principle. Now, I know what you're thinking, but 1% is so small. How can that possibly matter? And that's exactly the point. That's exactly why it works. See, your brain has something called the prefrontal cortex. This is the part that handles willpower, decision-making, and self-control. And here's the problem. It gets exhausted fast. When you try to make massive changes, you drain your prefrontal cortex in hours. That's why by day 4, you have no willpower left. You've used it all up. But 1% changes, they don't trigger resistance. They slip under your brain's radar. They don't exhaust your willpower. They actually build it. Let me tell you exactly how I discovered this. I used to hate reading. Actually, hate is too weak a word. I was terrified of reading. I'd see people posting about finishing books, and I felt stupid. I'd start a book, read 3 pages, get bored, and never touch it again. But I wanted to be a reader. I wanted to be that person who'd read 50 books a year. So I did what everyone does. I set a massive goal. I'm going to read for 1 hour every single day. Day 1, I forced myself through 20 pages. It was torture. Day 2, I managed 15 pages. My brain was screaming at me to stop. Day 3, I didn't even open the book. I felt like a failure. Again, I guess I'm just not a reading person, I told myself. But then something shifted. I was listening to a podcast and the guest said something that stuck with me. Don't try to read for an hour, just read 1 page. 1 page? That seemed too easy, almost pointless. But I was desperate, so I tried it. Day 1, I read 1 page. Took me 2 minutes. Felt like nothing happened. Day 2, 1 page again. Still felt pointless. Day 3, 1 page, but this time something weird happened. I read a 2nd page, not because I had to, just because I was curious. Week 1, 7 pages total. Technically, I'd failed because some days I only did 1 page. But here's the thing, I didn't quit. Week 2, I averaged 2 pages per day. Month 1, I'd read 30 pages, but more importantly, something in my brain changed. Reading didn't feel like punishment anymore. It felt like normal. Month 3, I finished my first book. And a second, my brain now craved reading. Month 6, I'd finished 6 books. 6! I went from someone who hated reading to someone who read before bed every night. What happened? My brain rewired itself, not through massive effort, through tiny, consistent 1% increments.
Now, let me explain the neuroscience behind why this works. Because this isn't just motivational fluff. This is actual brain biology. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity. This is its ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Every time you perform an action, you strengthen a neural pathway. And here's the key. Repetition matters more than intensity. Think of your brain like a forest. When you try to make massive changes, you're trying to bulldoze a highway through that forest in one day. It's exhausting, it creates resistance, and usually you give up. But 1% changes? That's like walking the same small path through the forest every single day. At first, it's barely noticeable, just some bent grass. But after a week, there's a faint trail. After a month, it's a clear path. After 6 months, it's so established that walking it feels automatic, natural, easy. That's literally what happens in your brain. Small, repeated actions create strong neural pathways. Those pathways become automatic habits, and automatic habits don't require willpower. Here's another crucial thing. Your brain doesn't differentiate between getting better and getting worse. It just reinforces whatever you do repeatedly. So if you scroll social media for 5 minutes every morning, your brain builds a morning scroll pathway. Do it for 30 days, that pathway becomes a superhighway. Now it's automatic. You don't even think about it. But the same principle works in reverse. Read 1 page every morning, your brain builds a morning reading pathway. 30 days later, not reading feels weird. This is why 1% worse compounds to disaster, and 1% better compounds to transformation. You're literally rewiring your neural architecture, one small repetition at a time. All right, so how do you actually use this? Let me give you the exact framework. Step 1, pick one thing. Not 5 things, not I want to transform my entire life. One behavior you want to change, one skill you want to build, one habit you want to create. Why only one? Because your brain has limited bandwidth. Trying to build multiple habits simultaneously splits your focus and guarantees failure. Master one, then add another. Step 2, find your 1% version. This is crucial. Your 1% version must be so ridiculously easy that you can't say no. Want to exercise? Your 1% isn't 30 minutes at the gym, it's 1 push-up, literally 1. Want to meditate? Your 1% isn't 20 minutes of mindfulness, it's 60 seconds, 1 minute. Want to write a book? Your 1% isn't 1,000 words daily, it's 1 sentence. Want to eat healthy? Your 1% isn't completely change my diet, it's 1 vegetable with dinner. I know what you're thinking, but 1 push-up won't get me in shape. You're right, but that's not the point. The point is showing up. The point is building the neural pathway. The point is not breaking the chain. Step 4, track it visually. Get a calendar. Every day you complete your 1%, put a big X on that day. Your only job is not to break the chain. Why does this work? Because you create a visual representation of your progress. Your brain loves patterns. After 7 days of X's, breaking that pattern feels wrong. After 30 days, that chain becomes precious. You'll protect it. Step 5, embrace the plateau. This is where most people quit. Days 1 to 7, you feel like nothing's happening. Week 2, still nothing. Week 3, you're wondering if this even works. This is the plateau of latent potential.
Imagine an ice cube sitting on a table. The room is 25 degrees. Nothing happens. 26 degrees. Still nothing. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 degrees. The ice just sits there. You're putting in effort, cranking up the heat, and nothing's changing. But then, 32 degrees. Suddenly, everything changes. The ice melts. All that hidden work becomes visible. Your brain works the same way. Neural pathways are forming invisibly. You can't see them, you can't feel them, but they're building. And then, one day, usually around week 4 to 6, something clicks. The behavior feels natural, easy, automatic. That's not magic, that's neuroscience. Trust the process.
Now, let me address the objections I know you're having. Objection 1, but I need results fast. I get it. We live in an instant gratification world. But here's the harsh truth. The fast results approach is exactly why you're stuck. You've tried it multiple times. How'd that work out? The people who achieve massive transformations aren't the ones who sprint. They're the ones who walk consistently every single day for years. Objection 2, what if I miss a day? You will miss a day. That's not failure. That's life. Here's the golden rule. Never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. If you miss today, make tomorrow non-negotiable. Get back on track immediately. Your brain doesn't track perfection. It tracks patterns. One missed day doesn't destroy your neural pathway. 2 or 3 in a row, now you're building a quitting pathway. Objection 3. This seems too easy. Will it actually work? That's exactly why it works. Hard things require willpower. Easy things bypass willpower entirely. And once something becomes automatic, it doesn't matter if it started easy, because now you can scale it. Remember my reading story? I started with 1 page, but after 2 months, I was naturally reading 10 to 15 pages because it felt good. I didn't force it. My brain rewired itself to crave it. Start easy, scale naturally. That's the formula. Objection 4. What if I want bigger results faster? Then compound harder. If you want 10% improvement daily instead of 1%, go for it. But here's the trick. You still start with 1%. Build the pathway first, then increase intensity. Most people try to start at 10% and collapse by day 3. Smart people start at 1% and naturally scale to 10% by month 2. All right, here's your day 1 challenge. I want you to do this immediately after this video ends. Step 1. Pause this video, grab a piece of paper or open your notes app. Step 2. Write down 1 behavior you want to change. Just 1. Be specific. Not get healthy, that's vague. Do 1 push-up daily. Not be more productive, that's vague. Write 1 sentence daily. Not learn a skill, that's vague. Practice 5 minutes daily. Step 3, define your 1% version. What's the absolute smallest version of this behavior? So small that even on your worst day, you can't say no. Step 4, get a calendar, physical or digital. Mark today as day 1. Step 5, do your 1% version right now. This video is ending in 60 seconds. Before you click away, do it. 1 push-up, 1 page, 1 sentence, 1 minute. Why now? Because motivation fades, clarity fades. If you wait until tomorrow, your brain will rationalize why you should wait another day. Do it now. Prove to yourself that you can. And here's the final piece. Drop a comment below and tell me what your 1% is. Write it down. Make it public. When you declare your intention publicly, you're 3 times more likely to follow through. It's called social accountability, and it's a psychological hack that works. So comment below, my 1% is blank. I'll read every single one, and I'll check back in 7 days to see who kept their chain going. Tomorrow, we're diving into day 2, identity-based change. And this one is going to blow your mind even more than today, because here's the secret. What you do matters, but who you become matters more. You're not trying to do one push-up, you're trying to become someone who exercises. You're not trying to do one page, you're trying to become a reader. And when your identity shifts, your behavior follows automatically, no willpower needed. Tomorrow, I'm showing you exactly how to hack your identity at the neural level. It's the fastest way to rewire your brain, and it builds directly on what you learned today. But today, right now, you have one job, your 1%. Do it, comment it, start your chain. I'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Let's rewire your brain together.